hell I do this?
He be a nice guy. I'm gonna get that nigga and watch this shit.
Now let's shift our focus to a tragic incident that took place in the U.S. state of Nebraska. Adult film actor Jay Hefner was tragically shot dead in an incident described by his family as a senseless act of gun violence. The 24-year-old, whose real name is Syvon Hopkins from Ontario, Canada, was in Nebraska to join a birthday celebration when the fatal shooting occurred. His family, an adult film production company he worked for, confirmed that that was his identity and that he was indeed the victim. A GoFundMe page has been launched to cover funeral costs. Over $25,000 has already been donated. The fundraising page reveals that he was killed while trying to protect his cousin from physical violence. According to the page, he is remembered as a beacon of light for his loved ones, a devoted father to his 10-month-old daughter, and a supportive son who's assisted his terminally ill mother with caring for his siblings. The adult entertainment industry has been rocked by a series of tragic deaths. Jesse Jane, Cagney, Lynn, Carter, and Sophia Leone all passed away within the first 3 months of 2024. The causes of their deaths include drug overdoses and suicide, leaving the community in mourning and seeking answers.
How does a night of laughter and celebration turn into a scene of absolute, gut-wrenching tragedy? How does a life brimming with potential simply vanish? Imagine one moment you're surrounded by loved ones, the next, the echo of gunshots, the cold stark reality of loss. This is the story of Syvon Hopkins, a young man, a father, a rising star, whose life was taken in a senseless act of violence. But was it really senseless? Or something far more calculated at play? What do you think? Leave your theories in the comments below. Syvon Hopkins. A model, rapper, father and son. Many things to many people, but to those who knew him best, he was a light, a protector, man fiercely devoted to his family. He was on the verge of something big, something truly special. But his story took a devastating turn in Lincoln, Nebraska, a place where dreams were supposed to flourish, yet, beneath the surface, something was amiss. On a seemingly ordinary weekend, a celebration, a birthday, would become the backdrop for a tragedy that would leave a family shattered and a city searching for answers. Lincoln, Nebraska, a place where people from all walks of life converged, became the stage for a shocking event. But what really happened that night? Was it a random act, a simple fight gone wrong? Or was there something more, something hidden, something that the official reports haven't revealed? A celebration turned deadly, and the search for answers continues. But here's the twist: what if the answers were never meant to be found? What if the truth was buried beneath layers of lies and misdirection? What if the real story is far more complex, far more dangerous, than anyone could have ever imagined? Stay with me and we'll uncover the truth together. But be warned, what we find might just shock you to your core. Are you ready to dive in? Let me know in the comments. Welcome to Whistles of True Crime, where we unveil the darkest mysteries and the most chilling true crime tales. If you crave real-life crime stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat, you're in the right place. Kindly subscribe to this channel now and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss any of our new stories. Your support keeps these stories alive. Lincoln, Nebraska serves as the backdrop to the tragic story of Syvon Hopkins, and it's a city of contrasts. Known as the Star City, Lincoln boasts a blend of Midwestern charm and urban development. Its vibrant Haymarket district, a hub of nightlife and entertainment, is a stark contrast to the quiet residential neighborhoods that make up much of the city. Lincoln is also home to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, contributing to a youthful and diverse population. However, beneath the surface of this seemingly peaceful city, a darker reality exists. While Lincoln generally enjoys a lower crime rate compared to larger metropolitan areas, it is not immune to violence. The city has seen an increase in gun violence in recent years, a trend that echoes national concerns. According to recent data, while overall crime rates are relatively stable, incidents involving firearms have risen. The weekend that Savion Hopkins was killed saw 3 separate shootings, highlighting the city's struggle with gun violence. This tragic event underscores the fact that even in seemingly safe communities, the threat of violence can shatter lives in an instant. Savion Hopkins was a man of many faces. One moment, he was commanding attention as a model, showcasing the latest trends for Fashion Nova man. The next, he was laying down verses, his rap videos pulsing with energy. Then, there was the adult film industry, a path he chose, not for notoriety, but for necessity. He was driven and ambitious, look at the clips, he was a chameleon, adapting and excelling. But what drove him? Was it just the desire for success, or something more? Something hidden. What do you see in his eyes? Comment below. Beyond the spotlight, Savion's world revolved around his family. His 10-month-old daughter, his reason for everything, and his mother Jeannie, terminally ill and needed him, he was her rock, her caregiver. He shouldered the weight of her care, alongside his siblings. It's been reported, he turned to adult entertainment, to OnlyFans, to make ends meet, to pay for her medical bills. He did what he had to do. Family first, but at what cost? What burdens did he carry in silence? Did anyone truly know the weight he bore? Did anyone see the hidden struggle? What lengths would you go to for family? His girlfriend Madeline described him as her safe place, a man who showed her a depth of love she'd never known. Friends remember his kindness, his protective nature. He always had a smile, they said. He'd go out of his way to help, but even those closest to him, did they see the cracks? Did they see the fear? Because here's the thing, just hours before his death, he was making plans for the future, plans that would never come to pass. He was taking his mother to a Husker football game. A simple outing, a moment of joy. Then, the shooting. A sudden violent end. But why? Why him? Was it truly random? Or was there a target? A reason? A secret he was keeping? What if I told you, there were whispers, just whispers, of a confrontation earlier that night? A threat? A warning? And what if, just what if, his attempt to protect his cousin wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment reaction but a desperate act to stop something far more sinister? What if he knew something he shouldn't have? Something that got him killed? Stay with me, because this story is about to take a very dark turn. September 7, 2024. Savion traveled to Lincoln, Nebraska. Not for a show, not for a shoot, but for a family birthday. A chance to reconnect, to celebrate. Downtown Lincoln on a Saturday night is a mix of energy, the Haymarket district buzzes with people. Music spills out from bars. Laughter fills the air, it's a place where life is lived out loud. But that night, something was off. An undercurrent of tension, a feeling that something wasn't quite right. Did Savion sense it? Did anyone? Around 1:30 a.m., near 11th and P Streets, the celebration turned chaotic. Details are still murky, but what we know is this: a fight broke out. A brawl, and Savion, ever the protector, stepped in to defend his cousin. Witnesses say it was a blur of fists and shouts. A chaotic scene. But amidst the chaos, one thing is clear: Savion wasn't the aggressor. He was trying to de-escalate and to shield his family. But some say this fight was not a random event. Was he protecting his cousin? Or was he protecting him from something else? Something more sinister, that was coming for him? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. Then, the unthinkable, gunshots. The night exploded, 2 men were hit. Chaos turned to terror. People scattered and screaming. Savian struck in the chest and collapsed. Police arrived to a scene of pandemonium. They found 2 victims. Savian, and another man with a wound to his leg. Both were rushed to the hospital, but for Savian, it was too late. He died just before 5:40 a.m. A promising life extinguished in an instant. But here's the question that haunts us: who fired those shots? Was it a random act of violence, a senseless tragedy? Or was it something far more calculated? The police are searching for answers. But what if the answer is something they don't want to find? What if the truth is buried, waiting to be unearthed? And what if, just what if the real target wasn't Savian at all? What if he was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or was he? The next chapter will reveal even more shocking details. Are you ready? Let me know what you think in the comment below.
Rod, Seven Hopkins' family is heartbroken after his death. Tonight, through the tears and hurt, they're gathering together for strength. Seven Hopkins' family says he was taking his mother to the Husker football game on Saturday night. He was shot and killed near 11th and P Streets after several fights broke out, according to police. Devastation weighing heavily on his family now as they try to cope with his death. Seven grew up here in Lincoln. His family and friends here gathering on Tuesday night to grieve the loss of someone they love. With balloons and a picture, they spoke about how giving and kind he was to everyone. Seven's friends tell me he always had a smile on his face, and he also had a strong work ethic. As they lit candles, Seven's family honoring the legacy he's leaving behind, including a young daughter. His friends say it's an unbearable pain, and they say a senseless tragedy like this should never have happened. They hope through this sorrow they can find justice for Seven.
The scene was chaos. Lincoln Police Department arrived, but what they found was more than just a simple shooting: 2 men down, 1 fatally. Savian Hopkins, 24 years old, pronounced dead. The other victim wounded but alive. The area around 11th and P Streets became a crime scene: yellow tape, flashing lights, the grim reality of violence. But this wasn't an isolated incident. That weekend, Lincoln saw 3 separate shootings. Was this a coincidence? Or was there something linking these events? Something the police weren't saying? They collected evidence, interviewed witnesses, but what did they find? What did they miss? What do you think? Were these shootings connected? Days turned into weeks, and still, no arrests. The investigation ongoing but seemingly stalled. Why? What were the challenges? Witnesses were interviewed, but did anyone truly see what happened? Or were they too scared to speak? The police, tight-lipped, offered little information. Potential motives? They remained a mystery. Was it a random act of violence? A fight that escalated? Or was it something more? A targeted attack? A vendetta? And the biggest question of all, who pulled the trigger? Who ended Savian's life? The lack of answers is deafening. But here's where it gets unsettling. Reports indicate the police were responding to other disturbances that night, right before this shooting. Were they spread too thin? Did they miss crucial details? And what about the other shootings? Were they simply ignored, or were they part of a bigger puzzle? A puzzle that remains unsolved. But what if the answer is not in what they found, but in what they overlooked? What if the key to this mystery lies in the shadows, in the whispers, in the secrets that someone is desperate to keep hidden? What if the truth is so explosive and dangerous that it could shake the very foundations of what we thought we knew? And what if, just what if, the real reason for the lack of arrests is not incompetence, but something far more deliberate? Something far more sinister? Stay with me, because the next chapter will reveal a twist that will leave you questioning everything. The digital world exploded with grief. Madeline, Savian's girlfriend, posted, "My safe place is gone." Raw emotion, unfiltered pain, friends and family flooded social media with memories, photos and videos. "He was a light," they said, "always smiling, always helping." But behind the heartfelt words, a question lingered: who was responsible? The outpouring was a testament to the impact Savian had, but it also fueled a burning desire for justice. Did you see the online reaction? How did it make you feel? Share your thoughts below. Near 11th and P Streets, the place where it all ended, a candlelight vigil. Flames flickered against the night, a symbol of a life extinguished too soon. Stories were shared, tears were shed. "He was a good man," they said, "he didn't deserve this," but amidst the sorrow, a demand for justice. "We need answers," they cried, "someone has to pay." The air was thick with grief but also with a sense of urgency. Was this just a moment of mourning, or a catalyst for action? Did the vigil change anything? Was it just symbolic? To ease the burden on Savian's family, a GoFundMe was launched. To cover funeral expenses, to support his daughter and to help his terminally ill mother. The response was overwhelming. Donations poured in, people from all walks of life, strangers and friends alike, contributed. It was a show of solidarity, a way to say we care, but even with the outpouring of support, the emptiness remained. Money couldn't bring Savian back, it couldn't bring answers, it couldn't bring justice. And here's the unsettling truth: what if the money, the attention, was just a distraction? What if the real story was being buried beneath the waves of sympathy? What if someone wanted us to focus on the grief, not the investigation? What if, just what if, the real truth was so dangerous, so explosive that it had to be hidden at all costs? The next chapter will reveal a hidden connection that will alter your perspective on this case. Are you ready for the truth? Imagine the silence. Jeannie, Savian's mother, terminally ill, now faces a loss no parent should endure. Her caregiver, her son gone. His 10-month-old daughter growing up without her father's touch, his laughter, his siblings robbed of a protector and a brother. The emotional burden is crushing, the financial strain immense. The constant reminder of what was taken is a life sentence of grief, but beyond the obvious pain, there's a deeper question: what happens to a family when their foundation is ripped away? What secrets were lost with Savian? What unspoken fears now haunt them? Do you think they'll ever truly recover? Savian's death is not an isolated incident. It's a symptom of a larger problem. Gun violence. Lincoln, like many cities, struggles with it. 3 shootings in one weekend. Was it a coincidence? Or a pattern? How safe are our streets? How safe are our communities? Conflict resolution, a term often used, but rarely practiced. How do we prevent these tragedies? How do we stop the cycle of violence? Savian's story forces us to ask tough questions. Questions that go beyond one night, one shooting. Questions that challenge the very fabric of our society. But here's the uncomfortable truth: what if the violence wasn't random? What if it was a calculated act, a message sent? What if Savian's death was a warning? A warning that someone, somewhere, is willing to kill to protect a secret? And what if that secret is so dangerous, so explosive, that it could ignite a firestorm? What if the real story is not about gun violence, but about something far more insidious? Something that goes to the very heart of power and corruption? The next chapter will reveal a hidden connection that will change everything. Are you ready to see the truth? Weeks turned into months. The Lincoln Police Department, their investigation quiet. Updates scarce. They say they're following leads, pursuing every angle. But are they? Or are they hitting dead ends? Or worse, are they being blocked? The need for witnesses, they stress. Anyone with information, come forward. But who would risk it? Who would dare speak up in a case like this? The fear is real. The silence, deafening. But here's the question, what if the answers are right in front of them, but they're looking in the wrong direction? What if the truth is hidden in plain sight? And what if, just what if, the real witnesses are too afraid to come forward because they know who did this, and they know the consequences of speaking out? The family, their grief amplified by the lack of answers. They demand justice. They want to know who killed Savian. They want to know why. We won't let his memory fade, they say. We'll keep fighting. But how long can they fight? How long can they endure the pain? They cling to hope, but hope is fading. They need answers, they need closure, they need someone to pay. But what if the person they need to pay is someone they never expected? What if the truth is so close, so intertwined with their lives, that it will shatter everything they thought they knew? And what if, just what if, the real killer is someone they trust? Someone they love? Someone they would never suspect? The next chapter will expose a shocking revelation that will change everything you thought you knew about this case. Are you ready to face the truth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As investigation continues, police finally arrest 2 suspects allegedly involved in the shooting of Savian Hopkins and his cousin. Suspect named Wright Kavion, ages 23, and Bahati Gregory, aged 30. They are still in police custody, but nothing is disclosed yet. Do you think we're close to justice? Savian Hopkins, a father, a son, a man of many talents. His life was a story cut short. But his memory lives on, in the smiles he shared, in the lives he touched. He was more than a headline, more than a victim. He was a force. A light. A man who deserved more. We see his laughter, his love for his daughter, the joy in his eyes. A life that should have been, a life stolen. He was a man who loved deeply, who protected fiercely, and who was taken too soon. But the question remains, why? We hope the truth pops out soon, because justice must be served. This story isn't over. It's a call to action. Share this video. Keep Savian's name alive. Demand answers. Contact the Lincoln Police Department. If you know anything, say something. The truth matters. Justice matters. Savian Hopkins' life mattered. But here's the most unsettling question of all. What if the truth is so dangerous, so hidden, that it will never be revealed? What if the arrest made didn't serve justice? The real story is far more complex, far more terrifying, than we could ever imagine. What if this is only the beginning? Savian Hopkins' story is a story that needs to be told. It's a story that needs to be heard. If you've been moved by Savian's story, kindly like this video, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories like this, and most importantly, let's continue the conversation in the comments below. Our deepest condolences to Savian Hopkins' family. His life, though tragically short, but clearly touched many. May you find strength in the memories you shared, and may his spirit bring you some measure of peace during this incredibly difficult time. Thanks for watching.